Okay, so here's the roller lifters, little cagey thingies, all in the box. Here's one head, here's the other head, and here's my cylinders. I think this side, the cylinders look might be a little scratched near the top, I'm not sure. On the other side, but the engine turns nice, they're smooth. Next thing to do will be to mic them and see if this has ever been bored before. Also, plus if I do have to do more than just a hone, what that would be like. Okay. Probably can see better in the sun. One thing I've been trying to avoid all day. Yeah, but I think that's it for tonight. I got to put everything away. It's supposed to rain tomorrow morning, so I got to cover all this up. Okay, so we're starting another day. Rained overnight. Covered the engine. Major haze, so right now we're not boiling, but the sun's supposed to come out again. Got a breaker bar here, and what I'm doing is, while the crank and the pistons are still in, I'm using the pistons. I say that because what I'm doing is, by putting the piston at the bottom of its stroke, it easily pushing it, and I can take a inside caliper and press it down flat against the piston, take a reading, and then move it, push it down flat against the piston, center it, and I can then move the piston up to almost the top of its stroke and do the same thing again. And if I do this for each cylinder, then I can get the readings for what the cylinders are. And I did this once already yesterday a little bit because I was anxious, and the engine has not been overbored. It was never bored once. It's still stock as far as in fact, I was getting 3.99 for the bores, and it looked like, at least the two that I looked at quickly, were round, which is a great thing. So I'll do this for every cylinder, and I'll put the measurements down. I'll probably take 3 measurements on each cylinder. Well, technically 4, because like I just showed you, I'll move this so that I'm going in both directions, checking for roundness, top and bottom. So that's 4 measurements per cylinder. And then I'll put that in a little chart, and then I'll be able to order my pistons, although it looks like the max I would have to order right now is 20 over. I was looking for a 10 over, but the ones I'm getting, the stroker pistons, don't seem to come in 10 over. So if these really are $3.99, I could hone them possibly out to 4 and then get stock 4 pistons, but I'll have to check out and see what the specifications for the rings are for those pistons, and for those pistons as well as the cylinders. Okay, well, that's probably going to be my morning work. Get that all done, and I'll be able to, and that's why I didn't take off well, I could have taken the dampener off, but that's why I left the nut and the dampener on. And after I do that, I can take the dampener off and the housing, so I can take the cam out, and I'll flip it over and get the crank and rods out. I'll also want to take a look at the heads. Just a PS on measuring these cylinders. Let's see if I can show you. I'm putting the piston not at total top dead center, but so that you can see the ridge. So I'm measuring actually where the rings were going to. So below that is the piston, so the rings never got there. So I'm actually measuring the bore that the rings have scraped. And go over here. You can see there's crosshatch under pretty good. A little bit of water in there. But there is some glazed areas. So it definitely needs a hone. I mean, it's got tons of mileage on it. But by doing it like this, I'm getting the measurements for the cylinders where the rings are working. PPS. One more thing, you can use the pistons, like I said, to get the measurement. And one of the things that's nice about these pistons is they have the dimple in them, and so you can look at the lower portion and the upper portion and make sure that your inside caliber is perpendicular, parallel with them and perpendicular to the hose. Now, when you go and take this out, after you've locked it in position, just tilt it back so you don't worry about changing the reading. Okay, well, finished taking the measurements again, all 64 of them, and with the better precision micrometer and snap gauge combination. And all the cylinders look good. In fact, and the thing that's really looking good is the fact that the readings were basically the same except an extra digit. So I went down to tenths. Hundreds. Down to hundreds. Otherwise, the numbers were pretty much the same.